Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm a child psychiatrist, parent coach, and I'm also a mum. And I'm doing a series of videos talking all about how we're going to return to the new normal when schools are returning and what we need to do in the school holidays to really help our children get into the right frame of mind and also help ourselves to get into the right frame of mind to return to school and kind of that new normal that's going to happen in September. And today I'm talking all about how we need to create that space for the healing to happen. Going to talk about some of the things that are going to prevent that and what we can do about them. If you do like my videos, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, and I always send something a little bit extra for my email list subscribers. So if you'd like to be on that, please click on the link that I've put in the description and get yourself on there. Otherwise, stay tuned and we'll talk about how to create that space. So one of the things I've noticed is that lockdown has been a tricky time for everyone, really, kids and parents. And since I've been meeting more adults recently, what I've noticed is there's a lot of negative residue left over. And what I mean by that is that basically people have had a difficult time, and some of that is spilling out into the conversations they're having all around their kids. And I think it is really difficult because there's lots of different things that have happened. People have experienced maybe mental health difficulties, some people have experienced financial difficulties. What I've heard people talk a lot about is the physical health stuff. So perhaps they've put on some weight, they feel like really unsporty, they just feel a bit horrible about themselves. And unfortunately, those kinds of conversations are happening a lot. And because children are around their adults a lot, often they are hearing those kind of conversations, and teens are as well. And I think because adults are feeling like things are so hard, it's difficult for them to kind of prevent those conversations from happening or maybe even be aware that they are going on. But the thing is, your kids are picking up on the fact that you're not okay. And some of the conversations, especially around things like weight, for example, it can leave them feeling really conflicted, especially if you're trying to raise children who, feel confident and who feel happy with themselves. If actually what we talk about a lot is how we've put on loads of weight, how we need to diet all the time, how we need to lose weight because of the lockdown. But really, anything like that, conversations about financial difficulties, a lot of those conversations will leave children feeling, anxious about what's going to happen in their future. So I think it's really important to think, what are the things, what are the negative things, identify them that have happened in lockdown that are kind of still with you, and really decide what you're going to do about them and tackle them. And it's okay for your children to know that, something's been difficult. But I guess what they really need to know is that you're handling it, and to have a space where you're not having to talk about it, they're not having to hear about it, and it's a space that's free from those negative things. Because really, if you're going to help your children heal from what's happening with the lockdown and get them through onto being able to get back to school and kind of the new normal, really what we need to do is to create that space for some of that thinking and healing to occur. And if everything around us is constantly filled with the negative thoughts and worries that we have, and we're not really handling them, then it's difficult to do that. I think it's best if we can use any adults around us to support us with that. So if you do need people to talk to, obviously friends, partners, parents, anyone like that who you've got around you to help contain whatever worries it is that you have, so you have more of the headspace to do the healing work with your child or your teen. So kind of like a worry-free space, really. This will take some awareness. I think it is tricky, but I think it's something that's really important to set us up for the things I'm going to be talking about over the coming weeks, about the different things that you can do. And it will help your child know that you are handling your difficulties, you're ready to contain them as they put things together in their mind and move on. And also that you are ready to move on, because I think if you're always talking about the difficult things that have happened, they feel like we're still stuck in that place. Whereas if you're taking positive action to move on from them, to address them, then they will also feel like this is something that they can start to do as well. And I think especially for slightly older teens, it's really, really good modelling for them about, yes, we've had this difficult thing happen, but we are moving on from it, and this is how we're going to do it. And of course, it's also worth thinking about whatever we talk about repetitively will be stuck with our children. It will be something that will be in their minds. It will be something that they embrace and put into their own world. And I think we have to be careful about what it is, because I think children and teens are around us more. We've become really used to them being around, and maybe we don't notice as much about what we talk about around them. And just think about whether what you're saying is something that you want to be part of their world view, because it will be getting assimilated into that. And because they're not having other places, like, often kids are at school and teens are at school and with friends, a lot of the time, because they haven't got the outside stuff happening, what you say is kind of even more powerful and important. So just check in with yourself about the kind of things you're talking about frequently and think, is this something that I want my child to take on as a worldview themselves? Because in all likelihood, they probably will be. So I'm asking you to do quite a lot of self-reflective work here. I know it's tricky, but I think it's something that's really positive, something I've had to be really careful about as well, because of course there have been times in lockdown that I found really difficult. But I think it's something that's going to be vital to move on to the next bit. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do subscribe to my channel, as I said, and I will see you next week. I'll be doing a blog that will also help us do some important things to help the kids heal.